Yours doesn't do it. And mine was more expensive.
So it's a big snag, that.
And I'm annoyed about it. So this is the Motocaddy M7 12-month overview.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Which is the good bit.
This is the interesting video where we don't hold back and tell you all the gripes and bad bits about this trolley.
So let's get into it. One of the biggest problems I think you're struggling with is the weight of this trolley.
Without doubt, that for me is the one thing that really gets me. It's not the trolley's fault, it's very well built. But when you take the battery into account and the wheels and all the extra bits in there, it's sort of like 15 kilos. And I don't leave it in my car.
It's a lot to lug in and out, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you've got to lift it out the boot and then carry it into your garage or into your house. I take mine into house and I'm like struggling away. And
I think that's the biggest issue, is the weight, especially for anyone with even worse back issues, or anything like that.
Or an elderly person. I mean, you can get around the weight a little bit by removing the battery, so carrying that separate.
You could remove the wheels.
You could remove the wheels as well.
It gets to the point where you're doing so much stuff just to...
You're doing like 4 trips. I've got the travel bag that comes with it, but I've got to take the wheels off of that.
Or at least invert them.
Yeah, to get it into the travel bag.
That's because the M7 is slightly wider than my M3.
It's wider than the other models, yeah, to give it that stability. The hill brake, that really winds me up.
This is something that I've picked up on, and I've actually mentioned it to you now, haven't I?
Yeah.
Every time we're out on course and we're on a hill, he'll park it up, and with it's actually got an automatic brake on that one, hasn't it?
Yeah, it will hold itself.
So he puts it on the hill, and it will just creep forwards or backwards, whichever way you park it. Now you say it's because of how much weight you've got in your bag. It's all them sandwiches and drinks.
Yeah, it probably is all the sandwiches and drinks, but
I personally don't think it is. I think that should work better. Mine works phenomenal compared to that.
Yeah, it just holds, doesn't it? So that winds me up. The other thing is, why hasn't it got a clock on it? How many times have I asked you on course?
It's pretty much all I hear on course is, Jay, what's the time?
What's the time? Does he tell me?
How are we doing for time?
Does he tell me? No, he doesn't tell me.
What do I normally say?
Get a watch. So he's got it on his trolley, and he won't tell me what the time is, and that drives me absolutely nuts.
For the price of the trolley, you'd expect they could have just put a little clock on there.
I paid 950 quid and it hasn't even got a clock. Well annoyed.
Yeah. Bit toughy.
The other thing is, the missus still hasn't forgiven me for buying it. It turned up in a massive box. So Motocaddy, thanks to you, I've nearly had divorce papers come through. So yeah, that's bad as well.
That's really bad.
I'm blaming you, Motocaddy.
The drinks holder. What's wrong with the drinks holder?
Well, for a start, it's 20 quid or 25 quid, right? It's a tiny piece of plastic, right? Only just holds a 750ml bottle, right? You want a good litre, don't you? It's just flimsy, and it's 20 quid.
Yeah.
Why did
the accessories ain't cheap?
Why didn't it come with it? I'm still annoyed, Motocaddy. I'm still annoyed it didn't come in the bag. Sort it out.